it's me again. I took my hat off. It was bothering me. I had it on for like 12 hours. You know, I feel like a cowboy. But I did 2 separate braids, okay? And then I just wrapped them around each other, Celtic style. Very traditional, old school, early Celtic braids with horsehair ties. That's what they used to use. But I used rubber bands. Anyway, I want to talk about past life stuff because I get a lot of emails and I choose when I decide to talk about it, but there's a little person, and I'm not going to say who, in my family who was born very young, still very early yet, is a reincarnated soul. And the only reason why I think we have a deep-rooted bond is because this happened when I was watching. I'm not going to say if it's a niece or a nephew, but it's one. We were alone, and in their baby language said, "Aunt Lizzie, did you come to town before I did?" This is very, very, very young, and I just understood immediately he meant, did you come back before me? And he had all this anxiety and he had all this stress, and he kind of like, well, it's a he. At least you got that. Fuck. Well, whatever. But all this anxiety in his body, and I was just watching him because I don't think he's ever been to church. Like, nobody talks about religious stuff. And I just looked at him and I said, listen, right now, you're just a child. All you're supposed to do right now is love, have joy, make mistakes, learn, make friends, have a kid experience. All of this stuff that you are worried about, you don't have to worry about it right now. You have a long, long, long time here. And he looked me dead in the eye and he said, I just got here. I don't want to go back so soon. And I recognized his soul. This is somebody who had died young, previous life. Fuck it, fuck it. At this point, that's my nephew Kai, and in my own personal experience, I believe he's the incarnation of my Uncle Mac, who died when I was 1. He was a football star. He was amazing at it, but he got diagnosed with leukemia very young, and he passed away very, very early. It was in 1985 when he passed away, so they didn't know much about it. Kaiman is, I feel like, a mix between his grandpa's soul and his uncle. And I don't know how it all works, but the whole soul doesn't come back because one stays up in heaven, you know what I mean? But a piece of that person's soul is in Kaiman, and I found out that I was a psychic medium through my Uncle Mac. I didn't understand. I was about 4 when I found out that I had an uncle and he passed away. And I saw the picture of him holding me because I was only 1 when he died, so I had no recollection of him. And I just felt this enormous bond with him. And I, literally cried. And I was so sad for, a week. And my birthday was coming up, and there was the shelf in my grandma's house with all his football stuff on it. And I wrote him out an invitation. And I invited him to my birthday party. And so we were all allowed to have one friend, and we were all hanging out in the room. And just the room we were in, the lights kept going out. Not the rest of the apartment, Nobody was fucking with it. It like freaked everybody out, and I just immediately knew that my uncle was there, and I wigged out so bad that I made my other friend go home so that he would stay because we were only allowed to have one friend, my mom said. I was a crazy fucking kid, and I just knew he was there, and like he was like my first ghost, if that makes sense. But he was not scary at all, and I just feel like I don't remember seeing him. I just remember him being there and just knowing it was him. And I think he knew that if he transformed and I saw him with my eyes, I would be scared because I was too little and I wouldn't understand. So he morphed into like energy, like knocking things over and turning things on and off. And he only stayed that night, like he wasn't there. And then later, another one of his sisters, my Aunt Phyllis, her baby son, she had one of those exposed hallways, and he slipped through the railing and was falling like 2 stories on his head. And my aunt said somehow he just like righted up and he fell on his butt in a way that he didn't get hurt somehow. And she's like, I just immediately thought of my brother, and he caught, her son and saved him. And there's been numerous of times in my life that I almost died, and I just knew he helped me. Um, it's weird. He's helped all of us. It's not just me. He's helped all of us, and Kai is special with all of us. And I just, that's what the experience here is, sometimes you remember and sometimes you don't. And sometimes you come here as a kid and you're never understood and your family thinks you're weird. And I didn't have anybody like that in my family growing up. I would say weird shit and everyone would be like, it's just her imagination. No. Like, I went through this whole thing and it was like pre-K, and this old man was hanging out with me and he was talking to me and he told me he was my grandpa. And I couldn't understand why nobody was seeing him, so he told me that he had died. And I went to school and I was upset and I told everybody my grandpa died. And so I was like made to look like this big liar when really I was seeing my great grandfather. I was seeing him. He was talking to me. We were having an experience, and I didn't understand it. I was just too young. And I stopped seeing spirits. I don't know if I mentally blocked because I got in trouble. Like, he was so vividly real to me that I thought he was a real person. I said, Grandpa died. I described him. Nobody fucking believed me. They just thought I wanted attention, but nobody put it into their mind that I don't remember my great grandpa. Like, how could I describe him? But anyway, that's the thing about, like, we only remember what we really need to remember in the cycle because there's just so much. I've had so many lives that I can't possibly hold all of the knowledge in one brain, and so many of us out there are like that. So that's why it's so great to find these other experiences with other people, because it's like you have your bit of knowledge, they have your bit of knowledge. If they put everybody who has past lives like me, ancient fucking, if you just put us all in a room and we put up like what I knew, what they knew, like I don't even know what would come out of it, but I know it would be like world-changing shit. Like, there's a reason why I remember. There's a reason why I've always remembered. Or like my nephew who remembers very young. And there's other gifted people in my family that don't even know they're gifted. They're not open to it at all. And there's other people that choose dark. And there's other people that choose light. And I don't understand how it all works, other than you are awoken if you're needed in this rotation. You remember what you need to remember when you need to remember it. And the soul tribe is that table where you're meant to come and have a collaboration. That's what your soul tribe is. We can't all remember everything. but he can store it in mad brains, and maybe we have a fighting chance against the dark that's coming.